have a full day of baseball here on FS1 as the Red Sox and the Yankees both try to stay alive. It all starts at noon Eastern with Game 4 between the Astros and Red Sox. Then tonight, the Yankees host the Indians. Let's get to Cam Newton. The Panthers beat the Lions 27-24 on the road yesterday to move to 4-1. Cam had 3 touchdown passes and threw for 355 yards. It was only the second time in his career he has thrown for over 300 yards in back-to-back games. Cam's great game came after he received heavy criticism last week for saying a question about pass routes from a female reporter was, quote, funny. Let's take a listen to Cam after the game yesterday.
At the end of the day, you still have to be a professional about certain things. And, you know, with me in the preparation, it couldn't stop. You know, so I couldn't feel sorry for myself knowing that certain things took place that, you know, that was out of my control. But at the end of the day, you live and you learn. And, you know.
Shannon, are you surprised Cam played this well under these circumstances?
I am, because we have a previous file. Because remember, in the Super Bowl, Skip, the lead up to it, you know, he said I'm a black quarterback, and that scares a lot of people.
Yep.
And he didn't play particularly well. But I was very impressed. I was very happy. And I try not to root for anybody because I want everybody to have success, having played this game. But I was openly rooting for Cam yesterday. I thought yesterday was Cam's best game of his entire NFL career. Given what he was up against, the criticism and the backlash, and it was self-induced. He said what he said. He apologized, ready to move on. But that was his own doing. And for him to go out and play like he did, to follow up what he had done the previous week in Tom Brady's house, to follow that up with another 300-yard performance. And again, Skip, this is the second time. Now remember, he opened his career 422, 432 against Arizona and Aaron Rodgers. So his first 2 games he ever played, 400 yards passing. Since then, he had never, ever put together back-to-back 300 yards.
Think about that. That's just staggering to me. How do you throw for 400 twice, and then you go 7 years before you can even throw back-to-back 300 games?
And the way he threw the ball, and a lot of people are like, well, Cam is, Skip, you don't have the level of success that he had. The guy won a national championship. He won a Heisman. This is why a lot of people won national championship and Heisman. But how many of them have been Rookie of the Year? How many of those have won MVPs? How many of those have taken a team to a Super Bowl? So I said Cam Newton just didn't drop off a cliff at the age of 28. Something was wrong with Cam. I believe Cam was hurt a majority of the season. Cam is starting to look like the Cam Newton of old. Dude, 6'5", and he built. When I first met him for the very first time, he won the Heisman, and he came on the show. And the first thing I said, this dude he's charismatic. He has a megawatt smile.
He does.
He has and I'm looking at him, I'm like, I played 14 years. Ain't no quarterback built like this. No quarterback 6'5", 245 pounds, and I'm talking about like carved out of granite. But he can play. And so to what he was doing, he entered the fourth quarter with 328 yards passing. Had the game been closer, there's no question in my mind, he throws for 500. And Ed Dixon, who had 175 yards receiving in the half, I look up, and I didn't realize it because I've got a whole lot of things going on. I'm not paying attention to the sound. And it comes up. I'm like, dude got 175. Then I started doing my math. I'm like, hold on. I had 214. I said, he's 40 yards away. He got 2 quarters. I was like, oh, Ed Dixon about to get the record.
Oh, you got the record?
I got the record, Skip. You know, I started counting. I'm like, whoa. I said, Ed Dixon about to do me in. You know what? For Cam to throw for 500 and to stamp out some of his critics, I'd gladly step aside and let Ed Dixon have that record.
Would you?
I would have gladly. So Cam can throw for 500 and got about 2 more TDs.
So Cam isn't missing that other guy, that other security blanket he used to have. I can't remember his name. That other guy. No. Yeah.
The way Cam threw the ball, and when it was 3rd and 7, I think it's 3rd and 8 on that last one, he needed the clutch to keep the drive alive.
Hey, that was the throw of the day.
Big time.
In the game of his career, that was the throw of the day. And Kelvin Benjamin.
And how many passes did he miss? I think he missed like, 5, 7 passes? Not very many. Cam Newton, 7. 26 33, 355, 3 TDs.
No interceptions.
Hold on. How was Dak Prescott QBR better than Cam's? Oh, but never mind. I don't know what we're getting that. But go ahead, Skip.
Legs,
Go
using
ahead.
his legs
Go
to
ahead.
score also.
Okay.
Also throwing 3 touchdown passes.
Cam threw 3.
Yeah, I know, but then Dak scored one with his legs.
Okay,
right?
so what about the interception? Do we knock that? What about the pick six the other way? Do we knock
I
that?
told you, the QBR is so accurate and astute that if the ball goes right through the receiver's hands and it was 100% catchable ball, then it's not on the quarterback. So
Okay.
it's not going to be a blemish.
So Cam missed. So Dak Prescott. Let's just say that one. So he'd have missed 10 throws. So he'd have been 26 to 30. 20. So he missed 9. Yeah, 10 throws. So I'm trying to figure, Skip.
Well, remember, Dak Prescott was up against the greatest thrower of the football in the history of all football.
Hello, but
no
Dak-
one has ever thrown it better, says Shannon Sharp.
Can I ask you one more?
So that factors into degree of difficulty.
One more question before you go. Do they factor in you playing at home on the road in QBR? Who had a high degree of difficulty? Because
Yep.
Cam was on the road for the second week in a
You know how
row.
many times that Dak ran for a first down? He's like the new Cam, I think. That's what I'm
do
seeing.
that.
He's like Aaron Rodgers plus Cam Newton. He's got quicks and he's got size. He's
see-
240.
See, you must have been on that yak this morning. You talking
Yeah,
about
I don't-
Aaron Rodgers and Cam Newton combined.
Yakking right at you. Getting right back in your place.
But this, for me, this was Cam's greatest game, and he showed me something. Cam is one resilient, you know what, and kudos to him and what he was able to overcome this week.
To your point about the Super Bowl and the build-up, to me, that's the aberration in Cam's career. And I do think it had a whole lot to do with a crazy hot Denver defense at that point that had been all over Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game.
And they got Ben.
Oh, they were all over him. Yeah. But hey, were they not all over Cam Newton?
Yes.
He'd never been under fire like that from Von Miller, who deserved to be the MVP of the game, right?
Yes.
So again, to me, Cam Newton thrives on controversy the way I don't think I've ever seen anybody actually thrive on serious controversy because go all the way back to Florida. He gets busted with the stolen, whatever it was, computer, and he gets charged with felony burglary, felony obstruction of justice. And he goes through a diversion program, but he gets thrown out of Florida and he goes to Blinn Junior College. And what happened? Won a national championship. And then what happened? He goes to Auburn and all of a sudden he's under fire because his father allegedly solicited offers, blah, 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 Mississippi State and this
Auburn
and that.
and all.
Yeah, all of them. And then his father is, what was he, banished from the national championship game and Cam had to run up through the stands to go find his father outside the stadium. Okay, this is huge controversy. Did he win that national championship? He did.
Yes.
He beat Oregon in the national championship game under extreme clouds all around, right?
Yep.
And so here he goes. He's in the biggest controversy of his 7-year career, and it's the punctuation mark between two of the best games. And I agree with you. Yesterday, to me, under those circumstances, against Matt Stafford in that building, if you don't hit Kelvin Benjamin with that pass, Matt Stafford, he's like Aaron Rodgers in that building.
Yes.
He was already coming back on them like crazy.
Yep.
And I would have liked Detroit's chances to come back and win the game.
So would I.
But Cam just said, no.
Nope.
Clock, you are killed. You are done. And they got to kneel out the rest of the game. So I'm saying Cam, and this just got me before the game. So Cam won't let it go. He won't let it just fade into the background. He, on his into the locker room walk, what's he wearing on his hat? Rosie the Riveter, right?
Yep.
And again, for those who don't know, she stood for all the women during World War II who had to very successfully do the men's jobs at home while the men were, quote unquote, away to defend the honor of the country. Okay, so Rosie the Riveter is about girl power. And then after the game, he suggests that he was actually trying to pay the female reporter a compliment.
Right.
Well, Cam, you didn't tell her that to her face, I don't think. That's not what she suggested in her tweets.
Right.
And then in the video that he posted apologizing, did one time he suggest,
No.
gee, I was actually trying to pay her a compliment.
I like the pendant, but I agree with you, Skip. Let it go. You weren't
let
trying,
it go.
You weren't trying to play her a compliment.
No.
Now you want to make it look like you were. Let it go. It's over. Dannon has done what
It's
they've done.
I mean, you're not going to get Dannon back.
No. Which leads me to believe I was right all along.
It could be at least part of it could be that.
Because think about it. In 2 days, they had a new endorser, and they're shooting a commercial this week. I believe the termination papers was being
Possible.
written, and this gave them cover for what he did in
It
the
might
New
have been
England
the
game.
final nail, but it could have been Yep.
Yeah, but I agree with you, Skip. I'm with you 1,000%. I would. Hey, it's over. And you notice she taking some time off. Why is she taking time off? Oh, why? I just want to know, Skip. Do your job. Your job is to cover. You always wanted to do this. Now, after it comes out what you said, you know, and they know how difficult your job is going to become.
Yep. It
In
did.
those locker rooms with
Yep.
those black athletes saying what you said,
I agree.
now you're taking some time off. I'll be very, very shocked, Skip, if this time isn't permanent and she finds her a new line of occupation.
Yep. But bottom line, he keeps it going, and then he goes out and plays the game of his
Yes.
career.
Yeah, it's hard for me to
Right.
believe. And I've watched a lot of his games. It's hard for me to believe that he's played a cleaner.
I'm with you. I agree.
No turnover.
I don't
Skip.
remember it.
He did everything he was supposed to do. He was in complete command, and the guys made catches for him.
They did.
This was Cam Newton at his absolute best.
And they host Philadelphia on
Uh-huh.
Thursday night. So quick
Oh, I guess
turnaround
you'll be
for
too.
a very big
Panthers.
game.
Oh, now you're Panthers. Oh, now
I
you're
got
Panthers.
this. We got this.
Oh,
I'll
wait,
drive
hold on,
that bandwagon.
hold on, time out.
Cam, you're my man.
Have you ever even been? Have you ever been to Charlotte? Have you ever been to North
Yes.
Carolina? When?
Yes.
In the last 2 decades.
I've been there for football, lots of football games.
In the last
Went there for
decade.
U.S. Open golf at Pinehurst. I don't know.
Skip, that was over a decade ago.
Oh, it's okay. So
No, it ain't okay.
Yeah.
Now all of a
I
sudden you
got
want Cam.
you.
Now
I got your back.
now all of a sudden you want Cam to do something
Cam's
to the
the man.
Eagles.
No,
You know
you're
what?
not getting on anybody about we.
I believe Cam needs.
Everybody that plays the Cowboys is a we to you.
Oh,
Correct.
Yes.
I say that out loud.
Yes, all the
I
time.
be thinking that.
know.
Oh.
Is it panic time for the Cowboys? Speaking of the Cowboys, we'll discuss that with Eric Dickerson next.